Back in New Hampshire, about time to go qualifying here for the NASCAR Cup Series on True TV. Jeff, there's a top 10 practice summary and their 20-lap averages as well.
Yeah, I love this right here because it shows the laps run. That makes a big difference in where you are in 20th lap average. Of course, you get 2 sets of tires. Some drivers, the top 3, we know for a fact all 3 of those made mock qualifying runs, so that's part of why they're first, second, and third in overall speed.
Yeah, you go back even farther. Sorry, Marty. I was going to say Ryan Blaney back in 16th. A.J. Allmendinger, no 20-lap average. He didn't run 20 laps. And to try to understand between 2 split sessions and 1 total session with 2 sets of tires, about 1,200 total laps run last year in practice, about 2,200 laps run today. So we're talking basically 1,000 more laps from the garage area.
Yeah, you mentioned Ryan Blaney, who is first on 15, 20, 25, and 30-lap average as you set your fantasy lineup. Might want to keep that in mind.
Kyle Larson.
Yes.
He is in need of some positivity as well. He has good pace.
What I was going to jump in there, Steve, and say is that Josh Berry ran the most laps at 80, and that's kind of been a little bit of a topic of conversation in the garage area. You mentioned it last couple of weeks. More laps you can run. You mentioned this practice session as well. More laps you can run, more fuel you burn off, the better it helps you for qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, you can just do the math, right? You can run about 90, 95 laps on a full tank of gas, maybe 100. So if you run 80, you only got probably 4 or 5 gallons left in the tank.
Overall weight,
yeah,
certainly doesn't.
7 pounds a gallon. I could be as 15 gallons being used up. You're looking at 75 pounds of total weight kind of being missed from the car. So
unheard, does it? Cody Ware, the first on the track.
75 to 100.
I love how quickly you do math, Steve, when you go into quick.
Well, it depends on how much you burned off. And I'll be honest, you might even want to add a little. So it's 2 things. You want the car as light as possible, but you also want the percentage to be on the front tires for qualifying. So, you probably could burn 100 pounds out of these things and go run.
Cody making his 5th New Hampshire Cup Series start this weekend.
Cody is a guy that would love to see random draw in qualifying. I feel like every week Cody's one of the first cars to go out based on finishes from last week and your points, and it is normally a big disadvantage to go out early, and he is every week getting that.
Ty Dillon is next up on the track, Dave.
Good practice for Joey Logano, at least in single laps. How was it overall for the 22?
Not too bad. There's a couple little things I definitely want to work on, but I think the Chauffenzo Mustang's in the hunt. So just got to dial in the last little bit is really all we're looking for right now.
Maybe a little bit more in a 3rd lobster, guys?
Could be, Dave, at his home racetrack.
Ty Dillon, his camper's NRV. He and his teammate A.J. Allmendinger, they have identical paint schemes this week. Easy to get on. Hey, don't run real fast. It'll make the screen blurry.
You can see it from here. You can see it from the booth. You can probably see it from a helicopter. Connor Zillich running down pit road. We should call him the highlighter. Host of ours, the Hurricane. Didn't you guys say that earlier? We should call him the highlighter. As Zane Smith is on the racetrack. Boy, I'll tell you what, Jeff, this team had so much momentum in the early summer. They just have really struggled the last few weeks on this 38 car.
And when you look at his overall practice today, all the averages, he's outside the top 20. So not sure it has the raw speed they're looking for. He's a qualifying lap. About a low 20 was good in practice.
Jeff, when you talk about a qualifying lap here in New Hampshire, is this one of the more difficult tracks to put together one complete lap?
It's so difficult. Track loves tire heat, and it's so difficult to get heat in your tires coming to the green flag. This and Martinsville, I think, are 2 of the most challenging. It's hard to get your car to make grip. See right here, Custer using a lot of racetrack. I think he wanted to use that much. He just drove down in there. The car just didn't rotate the way he planned on it. Kind of a 4-wheel slide.
Just crazy after that 15-minute practice session. You can see all those marbles just offline here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Cole Custer winds up second, Shannon.
And guys, the sun just now peeking out from behind the clouds. Of course, Ryan Preece not too happy about that. Hometown boy, able to come home this week and enjoy being in the Northeast, see some family. How does that maybe help a little bit of the pressure that you're feeling when you look at the points situation right now?
Well, I guess it's a good thing I'm numb to pressure, and the last time I was probably what I guess people would consider the most pressure-filled situation was 2017, and we did all right. So, yeah, hometown crowd, everything about the Northeast, I love it, and thanks to Mohawk Northeast and everybody that's always supported me. And it'd be great to qualify well so we can have a good day tomorrow.
Race late modifies on Thursday throughout the first pitch at the Boston Red Sox games on Friday. So it's been a really busy week for Ryan Preece.
Now, if he wasn't nervous walking out to the mound at Fenway, I'm not going to believe it. I believe he's pretty locked in the race car. I don't question his kind of tenacity and his effort behind the wheel, but throwing out a first pitch.
To his point, though, I mean, he's been through this before. The pressure situations of trying to make the chase and the postseason. He's lived it and knows what's going on. AJ Allmendinger with his qualifying lap. Jeff, you mentioned the calling cars. They haven't had the pace today, it seems like.
Yeah, it's been a struggle so far. They didn't run a lot of laps. Saw Ricky Stenhouse. He's currently second fastest. He went out just before AJ. Looks like Allmendinger's going to beat Stenhouse's time to be P2.
I'm not sure I gave Zane Smith the flowers he deserves to run that 23. Joey Logano last year is the fastest next-gen lap here to 29.15, so only 800s off from that.
Oh,
boy,
man.
That doesn't help start a lap.
Oh, right front contact for AJ coming to take the green, that was.
Yes, coming to the green, like you said, and it's kind of odd looking, really. Just misjudged it.
So we kind of joke about Connor Zilich's and SVG in the paint scheme. Carson Hosfar's not far behind with his paint scheme, is he?
No, a bright paint scheme and a missed corner. The car did not do what he wanted to up over that last paving seam. He got it turned back to the bottom okay, but he definitely wishes he had turns 1 and 2 back.
Making it up a little bit through 3 and 4, Jeff.
And this goes back to that early qualifying draw. Bad week last week that puts you going out early. If the racetrack isn't as good early, it's a big disadvantage.
Second quick for Hocevar as the aforementioned Connor Zilich comes up for his qualifying lap. We mentioned he'll start 4th in the Truck Series race later today.
In practice, Steve, I feel like this car was kind of mid-pack. Long runs, short runs. Best lap was his 5th lap on the racetrack. Pretty decent pace. Just cannot carry the corner exit.
Second for Zilich at a 30 flat. Team Penske meeting there, talking about qualifying. Got all 4 drivers in that meeting, along with Travis Geisler, head of competition for Team Penske, as Todd Gilliland for Front Row takes the green for his qualifying lap.
Really good entry speed, Steve. Using a lot of racetrack in the middle, but good exit speed.
A little bit of a diamond. I don't know if that was by design or where the car ended up wanting to go, but he did a really nice job not overcooking the middle. Let's see if he can get this thing turned and get the power down. Doesn't look like it wants to turn down the hill quite as well in 3 and 4, but it's trending.
Good lap.
Close with his teammate, and he gets it. Todd Gilliland with an identical time to his teammate, Zane Smith. They're the top 2 in qualifying so far. Back at New Hampshire, Todd Gilliland and Zane Smith literally tied for the top 2 spots. Yes, with a 23.6 on their laps. Pretty impressive. Can't get much more teamwork than that, can you, Steve?
No, I like
Be
it.
dead even on your
I like it. The engineers are going to like it. The funny part is they probably have totally separate setups or some crazy, if you go ask them.
Yeah, or I would love to look at it on SMT and see how much different they drove the line.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
They arrive at the same exact speed.
No, it's really good. So, I mean, you talk about cars that are looking for small wins throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
Apparently 9 cars have gone. They're 1-2. They have a decent gap. I think it'll fill in behind the 20. I think it's going to fill in front of them, but right now they're going to be feeling good about it.
Yeah, one Spire car in the books already with Carson Hocevar in fourth. Here's the second with Michael McDowell on the track. He's going to flirt with the green here in 3 and 4. Man, it's so hard to hang on to that pace on corner exit, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, it really is. McDowell's going to be third here. Waiting for something really positive to happen for this team. McDowell puts a ton of effort into this program. Really good race car driver.
Dave?
Christopher Bell looked good in practice. Number 1 in 10-lap averages. How would you assess practice?
I thought it was good. I thought we had some strengths and weaknesses for sure, but really, overall, I think the Bream Camry is going to be in the game for sure. So, love this racetrack. There's a lot of things that you can do inside the car to manipulate your car to get it to drive the way you want it to. Yeah, and I think the track's just getting wider and wider as the years go. So, it's a really fun place.
This track has been good to Christopher lately, hasn't it, guys?
Certainly has, Dave. 2 wins in the last 4 races here at New Hampshire. Austin Hill, I should say, checkered flag for his lap. 7th quickest for the 33.
Yeah, struggled in practice, just did not have good pace, not on short runs or long runs. And qualifying was not what he was hoping for as well.
Go inside the race with NASCAR Driver Cam, presented by Straight Talk Wireless. Access every in-car camera with real-time driver data, multi-view options, full team audio, and more. Watch NASCAR Driver Cam all season long, only on HBO Max. Eric Jones fastest in practice in green on this qualifying lap.
The qualifying run in practice. Let's see what happens. If the extra experience helps it pay off.
Coming the right way to the line. Can he get it done? He does. Eric Jones, quickest over Todd Gilliland. Boy, look how tight that qualifying session is. Just 2/100ths of a second quicker for Eric Jones, Shannon.
Yeah, down here with Kyle Larson, who had a really busy week, wins at Knoxville. But I'm guessing that the 6th place at Richmond is probably for your day job a little more important. How much do you believe that momentum can carry over from one week to the next, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, the 6th place honestly felt just as good to win, or compared to winning the Knoxville Nationals in a weird way. So it was just good to get a good run in there. Momentum, I don't know, but yeah, this practice was kind of tricky for me. I felt a little bit out of control and all that. So I don't really know what that means. They say I think we're competitive on times, but I feel terrible. So would love to get a little bit more comfortable speed and get a little bit more speed with that as well. But we'll see. Just try to execute a good qualifying lap here and start towards the front.
Yep, thanks, Kyle. I guess we'll all see in just a few minutes here when he heads out for qualifying.
To be honest, for those who didn't see, the Knoxville Nationals were delayed because of rain. It's a week-long event. He was on the pole because of his performance middle of the week. The rain allowed him to fly from Richmond straight to Knoxville, Iowa, start off the front row, and lead all 50 laps. I'll tell you, just Kyle Larson not getting kicked in the teeth by Mother Nature was a nice change, because he puts himself out there. Jeff drives stuff all over really the globe. He had the opportunity to run, trying to do the double with Charlotte and Indy. Mother Nature was just such, not a fan of what he was trying to do, and weather affected it all poorly. It was nice to see that all of the dirt fans that came out to Knoxville hoping to see him show up. It was a cool thing. He shows up in the Suburban, grabs, jogs in, comes out in a fire suit, kind of like Superman changing in a phone booth. It was fun to watch.
And you got to give Cliff Daniels, his crew chief, credit, because he was trying to talk him into it all day long, saying, hey, it's raining. Let's give it a shot. He's like, nah, don't worry about it. He's like, let's make a plan in case it works out. So credit to Cliff Daniels, and then his driver goes and gets it done. I asked Cliff, why'd you put so much effort into it? He said, listen, if that Knoxville win gives him a little bit of confidence, that helps us.
I like that.
On this cup side, and it's worth it to me.
Well, it's the biggest race of that type of racing.
100%. Yeah.
John Arnouchek used a lot of racetrack and wanted to. Fair amount of speed off of his teammate Eric Jones. Down in 12th fastest. Riley Herbst went out. He was 9th fastest. We saw Keselowski go out. He's 8th fastest. Last 3 cars on racetrack, none of them very happy with their laps.
Noah Gregson coming to the green for his qualifying lap here at New Hampshire.
All right, teammates ran 23.6. That's the goal, right, Steve?
you want to be up there with him. He's going to do it in a different manner. Both of the other two kind of back the middle up and get good run on exit. He looked like he kind of hustled the middle. Let's see if here he can just back it up, not trend in the green in the middle. Better. Let's see if it pays off on exit when it turns down the hill. It will. See, that end was more like how his teammates' cars looked.
Pretty close to his teammates.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be super disappointed. Talking 8/100ths of a second.
Speaking of his teammates, front row. Oh, the Spider-Man meme lives, doesn't it?
Oh, gosh.
Exact same qualifying laps for the front row drivers, Todd Gilliland and Zane Smith, and not far behind, Noah Gregson.
Austin Dillon on track. I know Richmond was a place that Austin and this team put a lot of emphasis on because they're so good there. Did not go well at all last week.
Big cranks on the brake bias right there.
Wiley's downshifting as well.
Well, we'll see. Practice was not what Austin Dillon was looking for.
It did not roll the middle well at all. You can see how much wheel he had in it and how long he had that much wheel in it. 16th. Man. It was a struggle, Steve. You said it, for both RCR cars in practice, and they're going to have a long afternoon and night trying to figure out what they need to do to make these cars better for tomorrow.
Bubba Wallace coming to the green.
Boss's Tequila on the hood of this 23 machine. Sapporo owned by Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's an interesting track, Jeff, for Bubba Wallace at New Hampshire. He's had some good results here, but Charles and Ike will tell you this is kind of the track they were worried left in the regular season.
Yeah, for sure. And the information that Steve had about Tequila sounded like a first-hand yeah, a little bit
experience. Yeah, I was trying to gloss past the Tequila reference.
To do preparation of everything that goes on the racetrack.
You are thorough, if nothing else, Stephen Letarte.
If it makes you feel any better, Mohawk on the Ryan Priest car. That's a flooring company up here in New England. I have all the sponsors covered.
Mr. Research, Steve Letarte, everyone. Eric Jones, quickest so far in qualifying here from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Chris Buescher about to roll out on to the racetrack.
Chris Buescher was pretty good in practice.
Yeah.
Single lap speed was competitive. His 10 lap, 15 lap, top 5, average in those. A good qualifying effort matters a lot, Steve. It's a very difficult racetrack to get track position. When you get it, you need to keep it. This qualifying is massively important.
Do I need to tell you about Trimble too? You gotta let me off the hook of it.
Well, you got all the sponsors so far. I mean, you might as well.
Well, they're a technology company.
I appreciate that, Steve.
That's why it's .com.
Yeah, exactly.
Technology.
See how he drives this. We saw Noah was a perfect example of kind of where it trends. Once again, green in the middle of the corner, but then he loses it on exit. I understand, you know, the want to drive that thing in because the pole you probably have to do drive in at that pace and get the car to turn. Now down here he'll adjust. That's what I think is so fascinating by race car drivers. He drove 3 and 4 different than he would have because he went through 1 and 2. Felt how his car drove, instantly adjusted.
5th quickest for Chris Buescher. Enjoyed talking to Scott Graves yesterday, just saying, hey, we're just looking for some direction on these short tracks lately. Just seems like we just don't have it at RFK. Let's see what his teammate Ryan Priest has.
I didn't think Priest was as fast in practice. He wasn't on any of his averages, did not look as good as his teammate. Hey, what, he came with corner exit speed. I thought he was in trouble with his middle of the racetrack, but he used it. Got a good angle of exit off of turn 2.
See if he can hang on to this green. Nope. Every driver, Jeff, it's always the exit of the corner.
Let's remember, 750 horsepower low downforce. Jeff, you just have to wonder if you know, they're just a touch hard on entry, just carrying a little more speed than they expect or want to down into the corner.
The least horsepower you have, the more momentum matters, right? So you have to, if you ever get the car slowed down, it's hard for it to recover. So you drive the car a little bit differently. With more horsepower, you can use that horsepower to your advantage. Bowman with a really, not a great, but a really good 1 and 2.
Oh, there you go. I think this one's going to stay there.
Going the right direction, coming to the line for Alex Bowman, and he goes to the top. 29.204 for Alex Bowman.
We talked about Zillage going to drive this car.
I swapped out 1 and 2, so good lap.
Great analysis, Alex Bowman.
Step 1 and 2. Coming off the top 10 last week at Richmond, backs it up with a nice qualifying effort here at New Hampshire. Here's Daniel Suarez.
Wow, he is wrecked. That is amazing that he's only that far off on speed, being that far out of control.
I have a little more conservative corner down here.
Yeah, I was going to think a little bit different down in 3 and 4.
Oh,
wow. Holy
I think
smokes.
at this point, they need to just be thankful there's no damage.
What a lap for Daniel Suarez. Kind of all over the place, Jeff.
I'd like to hear his analysis.
That's a sheer.
Yeah, that's a sheer. I mean,
That's a great save is what that is.
just not the grip he's expecting to have. Man.
All that didn't hit anything.
Eyes on this car, really, really good. We talked about his numbers here. They're impressive. Well, they backed it up in practice, had a great practice session. All the Team Penske Fords, but I have this car as good as the 12, or just maybe a touch off, but a really impressive lap so far.
With green all the way around the track for Josh Berry.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a real number here.
Yeah,
there was a lot left.
Putting it in the bank coming off turn 4 for Josh Berry to the top by a good bit.
Bravo.
5th and a half there. Very impressive lap.
And there was a 28, I don't know, a 28.90 probably in there if 3 and 4 could have gone. Remember starter issues on the 97.
He fired it up.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he kind of fired up, so maybe they
Well, now I'm even more confused.
Maybe they're just as confused.
maybe they unplugged it and plugged it back in.
Oh,
Always works. You ever have a computer issue? First rule, isn't it, Jeff? Shannon, did you find out why they were able to crank it right there?
Yeah, team rep came up to me after practice and said, hey, it fixed itself. So I don't know, maybe they put some Windex on it, I don't know.
must be something with the ECU, basically the electronic system that runs the engine. The physical starter itself must have been fine. Maybe it was a signal issue or something. Thankful if the 97, if it's fixed, they don't have to lose this qualifying position. That makes this lap even more important for SVG.
Come on, Steve. You never taken a hammer and hit the solenoid on the starter to get it around. I mean,
That's old school right there, Jeff.
good lap so far. And remember how much faster Barry is than second place.
That's right. That's right.
It's a great point, Jeff. So, see where SVG can slot in.
That's a solid lap. That's a solid lap for SVG. That's going to get him a decent qualifying spot. That is huge, and what he's trying to do and make the chase is qualify well, have decent days. That's really all they have to do. They don't have to have great days. That gets them in a position to be able to do that.
Impressive lap for SVG. Now his teammate Ross Chastain on the track. Hey, well, Steve, it's been a nice couple of weeks for this one group. 7th and 12th, the last 2 races. And that's not setting the world on fire, but it's way better than the summer was so far for this group.
Yeah, and you need some highlights. Every organization works so hard. I would argue you work harder when you're down than when you're up. So you need some sort of bright spot to bring back to the men and women who you're asking to work extra hours and make more sacrifice. So to your point, a couple decent runs, a little bit better feedback, and you can build on it.
And I would say the one team at Chastain doesn't like what I'm getting ready to say, but it again shows the progress SVG has made. He out-qualified Ross Chastain on one of the more difficult tracks to qualify on. Nothing against Chastain, more of a positive at SVG.
Tell you what, this is going to be 3 cars coming up that Josh Berry's going to watch, starting with Ty Gibbs.
That was not good.
And we didn't hear any throttle input. Jeff was shaking his head in the no direction. You could tell it was time to get back to the gas.
Yeah, just did not have the grip he was anticipating.
Well, those hands look busy, too.
He is not going to be happy with this lap.
Practice looks so promising for Ty Gibbs. Just 3rd quick, though, here in qualifying so far.
Speaking of trending in the right direction, you mentioned it with the 1. Well, we said it in practice. We'll repeat it. The 24. Back-to-back top 10s in Iowa and Richmond. Can the short track success continue for the 24 car?
And you can make a real argument this was the best car in practice. I think there's 2, 3, 4 cars that I thought stood out amongst everybody, and this was one of them.
Oh, I like what this corner exit looks like. If you can keep power down, it's going to be enough of momentum, or is it?
Not quite for William Byron, who winds up going second by 1/10 of a second. 9 cars left to go in qualifying here for New Hampshire. So William Byron misses the pole by a 10th. What was Josh Berry's reaction? Ooh, that's a little too close.
Well, you got Briscoe, Hamlin, Logano, Elliott, Larson, Cindric, Bell, Reddick, Blaney left to go. So
a lot of bullets to dodge still.
Just including big names in the sport.
Yeah, exactly, including his teammate Ryan Blaney, who's about to take the green here, Dave.
Last year's winner on track now, Marty, and he left a conversation we were having on pit road. He said, I want to get in the car and talk to my spotter, Tim Fedewa, on the route because he's watching the lines that the faster guys are running. I said, how often has he changed your mind? He said, yeah, he's changed my mind before. He said, I've changed my mind before. Sometimes I'll be heading out onto the track and I'll think, nope, that's the line I'm going to run. That was a little loose right there.
It's interesting, having those conversations, making late decisions about how and where you're going to drive the car in qualifying.
Looked good through 1 and 2 until the late exit there, Jeff.
Well, he was loose on corner exit the same way Dave called him loose coming off turn 4 to get the green. It's not what they were expecting. Coming pretty good right now, though.
Gaining a lot back as they come to the line, but just going to be 5th quick for Ryan Blaney.
Watch that 12 car tomorrow on long runs. He looks really fast. And by the way, that's a consistent theme with this team. Richmond was strange. As the race went on, they got worse on long runs. You don't normally see that.
A little bit bigger battle in practice than what we expect to see out of the 45. Let's see if they can right the ship a little bit for qualifying. Sometimes handling issues can kind of be masked for 1 lap. Sometimes they can't, depending on what you're battling. Great 1 and 2. They're going to feel great about this. Can he continue the momentum in 3 and 4? Kind of relaxed over the bumps. Will the car settle, allow him to run down a lane? It does. Now can he get to the power? Oh, everything accomplished. Race trim, not what he wants, but qualifying trim so far looks good for Reddick.
How about that for Tyler Reddick? After all the complaints we heard in practice, how he didn't like the car, he nips Josh Berry by a 10th here in qualifying.
You talk about team building, that's it right there. That's how you do it. You struggle, but then you overcome.
Such an impressive lap for that 45 bunch. Let's see what Christopher Bell can do.
And as a crew chief, that's where you love having talent like Reddick behind the wheel. I was fortunate to have 2 great race car drivers in my career, and they can mask some poor driving race cars for 1 lap on new tires.
The driver I had was not good at that. Look at this exit.
Yeah, Bell so good off the exit of 4 there. But just 5th quickest for Christopher Bell. I think that's a little surprising to me, Jeff, considering the pace they had in the 20 car earlier today.
Yeah, but I do feel like much the same comment about Blaney. I think this team, the 20 team, is the same. Long runs is going to be their strength.
I'm going to tell you, the standout for me is probably still that 4th place car, 97 of SVG. Just the weekend is so much easier when you start up front.
Yeah, he had pace in the race last year, to your point, with SVG. He finished 7th in stage 1 and was involved in that Brad Keselowski accident when Brad went too low off the exit of turn 2 and collected a bunch of cars. Boy, Austin Cindric doesn't seem to have the pace as his teammate Josh Berry or Ryan Blaney here on this qualifying lap. Just 22nd for the 2 car. That's surprising.
He'll be frustrated with that, I think.
As well.
All right, Kyle Larson said that his team has told him his car was making some pace, but it did not feel good for him. Let's see what he has for 1 lap.
Final 5 cars here in qualifying.
turns the middle pretty good.
Back of the car just wasn't settled. I agree, Steve. It rotated well, but it rotated at the expense of rear grip. Completely different line in 3 and 4 versus 1 and 2. It'll be a reasonable starting spot.
Going to wind up 8th for Kyle Larson thus far with the final 4 cars to go. Reddick, finally a smile on his face, Steve.
Yeah, almost a sheepish grin, knowing that maybe, all right, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought. To your point, Jeff, let's everybody get together here. Yeah, smiles around.
Jeff, you said after practice, all they need to do is just take this time and take a deep breath, and everything might be okay. And so far, quickest for Reddick.
Oh, that 9 car did not look good on corner entry.
No, not at all. And they're going to be, unless he can do something just unbelievable down here, they're going to be mid-pack. And really, Steve, in race trim, they did not look very good.
It had the combination of too loose in to turn the wheel, which got you in a bad spot, to be too tight in the middle, and then the whole rest of the corner is just kind of broken up.
Like 26 for Chase Elliott after that qualifying effort.
Well, we talk organizations, let's say, right? Byron 3rd, Larson 8th, Bowman 9th. The other 3 Hendrick cars inside the top 10, the 9 unable to get there in their qualifying run.
How about this guy? Learn how to drive all of a sudden. I mean, you know, shame on me. I thought they were in trouble. I really thought they weren't going to make the chase when I watched how they were running. And Joey Logano and this team, they just proved to us once again when it's time, they find a way. If he can have a good 3 and 4, he's got a chance.
Had that loose moment in 1 and 2.
Sometimes that slide, that one little correction you saw, and another big correction right there, that's just enough to heat that right rear up. That it's like, nope, you had one shot, the car slid. I'm not as good as I could have been.
19th for Joey Logano. 2 more stand between Tyler Reddick and a pole position here at New Hampshire.
Well, it's a tall task to beat the next 2. Reddick can absolutely do it, but Hamlin and Briscoe, 2 more Toyotas.
Hamlin didn't look great in practice either, but many times he doesn't look great in practice.
I was going to say it's still Saturday, Jeff.
Yeah. Here you go.
And here you go in qualifying. Denny with green off of turn 2, Steve.
Probably the most controlled 1 and 2 we've seen. So maybe speed without a slip of the tire. Look at this. Just going to roll right around the corner. Nothing going on. If you didn't have time and scoring, you would think this car is overslowed or handling issues. It won't be first, but it'll be a 4th place car that looked like a Sunday drive. I'm not sure it felt that way, but with all these other cars missing, moving, sliding, that car just kind of rolled right around the corner.
With Denny Hamlin driving it, that's how it's going to look for over 300 laps tomorrow. You know, it's just how he drives. He finds a way to be smooth with it and make lap time.
1 more. Chase Briscoe. Can he knock Tyler Reddick off the pole? Been a big emphasis on qualifying for this 19 bunch lately. It's paid off. They were 2nd last week in Richmond. And Green here off of 2, barely loses it there, Steve.
Had to wait just a touch, I think, for the throttle. Just another 50 feet more than he really wanted to. We'll see right here. If he rolls in, you're going to see it trending. Can he get in the gas and stay in it? That's the key. Same thing.
Not going to be enough. Tyler Reddick is on the pole at New Hampshire. We didn't have that one on the playbook today after the rough practice session they had. His 4th pole of the season, Shannon.
Yeah, that's right. I went up to him and I said, wasn't that you on the radio that we heard saying that the car was not good? And you said, yes. So what happened between the end of practice and when you went out for that lap?
Oh man, I was really unhappy. Yeah, I can't recall a practice I've complained like that. But yeah, I think we figured out what we need to try and work on. Obviously, we have our things that we want to work on for Sunday's race, but yeah, just looking at qualifying and what we need to do. You know, we just didn't get a great opportunity in practice to like lay down a lap in clean air. So like the short run didn't really seem that bad. We didn't have the lap, but the grip seemed there. So just kind of committed. It's like I've got to qualify good. You know, I don't want to do like we did at Richmond and start in the 30s. Had a little bit better metric this time around, so just had to commit. And just really proud of this Chumbuck Toyota Camry team. We did not have a good practice, but that's a good way to turn it around.
Do you feel like it is turned around when the race starts, or there's still some unknowns once that green flag drops?
We still got a lot of work to do, but yeah, we got extra motivation to really make sure we nail it for tomorrow.
Good luck. Congratulations. Dave?
With Josh Berry now. So, Josh, so close to your first career pole. Where was it lacking, if anywhere, on this track?
Yeah, I thought we were a touch on the free side. I really didn't love my lap. I thought somebody would run in the 90s for sure. Just got a little bit free at 1, and then just 3 and 4 got a little hung up on the seam and couldn't quite finish 4 like I wanted. But overall, good practice for us. Obviously, a great starting spot, and fighting hard right now for sure. We're making the most of this run with our cars. They've been really strong. So just want to thank everybody back at the Wood Brothers, Team Penske, Ford Racing, Motorcraft, Quick Lane. We're fighting hard. Should be a good opportunity for us tomorrow.
Single-digit finishes the last 3 weeks. So what is the prospect for tomorrow after practice earlier?
Well, statistically, this has been a very good track for me. So hopefully we can keep it rolling. I mean, it's hard to keep up a average like we've had, but I feel like we got a good car, and I feel like long runs have been where we've been focusing, and yeah, we just need to maintain our track position and fight all day long, and you never know what could happen.
So looking at last year's race and fighting to the finish of this one, what did you make changes to what you do, or were there suggestions you made to the team that you think they found some things in practice?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're on a little bit different tire than last year, so just kind of adjusting for the differences there and just differences in the cars and the rules and everything that we do nowadays. But overall, I felt like I have a good feel for this place for whatever reason. It reminds me a lot of the short track racing I did growing up, and just feel confident coming here. So just, yeah, no, obviously a great starting spot. Just need to make the most of it and try to figure out what's next. That's what we're working on. My phone, I'd love for it to ring this afternoon.
Call Josh, 21.
He's available for 2027, Dave. Good stuff. And going to be hard to keep up that average finish at 2.5.
No, but a great free agent available for
fantastic.
sure. Zero doubt.
That Tyler Reddick pole, by the way, Jeff, the fastest New Hampshire pole in the next gen era.
Well, I didn't have him anywhere in the top 20 rankings in average speed or anywhere, and he ends up on the pole. Great job, great recovery.
A who's who in the front 5 rows. I mean, you have William Byron up there, Hamlin, Bell, Blaney, Gibbs, Larson, people you just expect to run good here. Great lap by Alex Bowman right there in SVG, kind of working off that cut line, trying to get a little bit of a cushion.
Chase Briscoe back there in row 9, Jeff. I kind of expected him to be much higher in the qualifying order today.
He'll be part of the show tomorrow coming up through the pack. I have a feeling they have a good race car. Ryan Priest, hometown race for him. He wants to have a good day.
And when you go to these next pages, you start thinking to yourself, what are your opportunities? Are there going to be right side tires somewhere? Will we have a yellow where you could flip strategy? Joey Logano, Paul Wolf, so good at that. I would say the same for Alan Gustafson and Chase Elliott. Always aggressive to try to do something different, find their way to the front of these fields.
And some work ahead for Carson Hocevar and Austin Cindric as well. Certainly part of the Chase picture. Well, I tell you what, Daniel Suarez all the way back there on row 18. That's a shocker.
A shocker, but they should be thankful that they're not fixing the race car. A great save by Daniel Suarez. It could be basically the same qualifying effort with the rear clip knocked off, so good job by driver. That had a big moment.
Yes, tomorrow, the race here at New Hampshire coming up on USA.
Things are intensifying in the race to make the chase.
You're the Loud Master. I can't believe it. I honestly cannot believe it. How about that, boys? Loud 2024.
Ryan Blaney wins in New Hampshire.
Oh, hell yeah, fellas.
So much on the line with 2 races left in the regular season, Jeff, as we look at the Chase standings heading into what will be the Chase coming up starting in Darlington in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the most challenging racetracks. If you make a mistake here, you pay a huge price. You lose track position. It's trouble. I will say, Steve, a lot of tire fall off in practice, more than what we normally see here. I think that's going to give a little bit of crew chiefs a long night thinking about what kind of strategies can they play tomorrow.
We're going to focus a lot to the right side over there with SVG and Ryan Priest, but I will tell you, Larson, Logano, Buscher, Hocevar, throw a blanket over those 4 drivers, and there's so much opportunity to move. Remember, when the chase is reset, it is not heads up. There is seeding. Denny Hamlin basically should lock up being the #1 seed, barring a major issue here, but for everyone else, there are points available. How valuable would that reseeding be when we get 9 weeks from now? We're talking about where you finish it for the whole year.
And Steve, you have said for weeks that reset is real. You want to be in that top 6 to really, feel like you have a shot to win the title at the end of the year.
Look, it's like qualifying well. It doesn't guarantee success, but it's just easier from there. You can win a championship all the way back from 16th, but you will have a run that will go into the history books as one of the best 10-weeks run ever. Get yourself up to the top 8, 7, 6, everything becomes more obtainable.
And you mentioned a lot of focus on that cut line. Massive for SVG to go out and qualify 5th today for this race here at New Hampshire. We'll see what he can do tomorrow afternoon. You'll catch it all on USA tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Again, green flag has been moved up an hour, folks. So when you come on at 2 o'clock, we will be almost to green flag tomorrow. So much fun, busy practice and qualifying session here from New Hampshire. Congratulations to Tyler Reddick. He is on the pole for the race tomorrow. We'll see you on USA at 2 p.m. Sunday afternoon.